For a franchise that has always thrived on bold exploration, the recent news surrounding Star Trek 4 feels less like a failure and more like a turning point. The long gestating sequel, tied to the Kelvin timeline introduced in Star Trek, has officially stalled yet again. Another sign that the cinematic side of the franchise may need something it hasn't had in years: a break. The modern Star Trek films rebooted the universe with energy, spectacle, and a fresh cast led by Chris Pine as James T. Kirk. Under the direction of J.J. Abrams, the 2009 film successfully reintroduced the franchise to a new generation, balancing nostalgia with fast-paced action. It was exactly what Star Trek needed at the time: a revitalization. But revitalization has a shelf life. As the Kelvin timeline continued with films like Star Trek Into Darkness and Star Trek Beyond, cracks began to show. Creative direction shifted. Scripts were delayed, rewritten, and in some cases abandoned entirely. What once felt like a confident cinematic vision started to feel like a franchise searching for its identity. Now, years after Beyond, the cancellation, or indefinite shelving, of Star Trek 4 doesn't feel like the end of something. It feels like an acknowledgement that the current movie model isn't working. Part of the issue lies in the changing landscape of science fiction storytelling. In the streaming era, Star Trek has found a new home on television, where it has flourished. Series like Star Trek, Discovery, Star Trek, Picard, and Star Trek Strange New Worlds have taken the franchise in bold, often more character-driven directions. These shows embrace serialized storytelling, allowing for deeper exploration of themes, something that aligns more closely with the spirit of the original series created by Gene Roddenberry. Compared to that, the cinematic approach can feel limiting. Movies demand self-contained narratives, often prioritizing spectacle over philosophy. While that can be exciting, it risks losing the very thing that makes Star Trek unique: its willingness to ask big questions about humanity, morality, and the future. There's also the matter of audience expectations. Modern blockbusters are under immense pressure to perform, and franchises like Star Trek must compete with sprawling cinematic universes. That pressure can lead to rushed decisions, diluted storytelling, and an over-reliance on formula, exactly what Star Trek has always tried to avoid. Taking a break from films isn't giving up, it's recalibrating. A pause would give the franchise time to rediscover what works. It would allow creators to step back from the pressure of box office numbers and instead focus on crafting meaningful stories. It could also give audiences time to miss Star Trek in theaters again, making a future return feel like an event rather than an obligation. Most importantly, it would honor the spirit of exploration that defines the franchise. Sometimes, the best way to move forward is to stop, reassess, and chart a new course. The stars aren't going anywhere, and when Star Trek is ready to return to the big screen, it should do so not because it has to, but because it has something truly worth discovering.